It was the kind of cold that doesn't just sit on your skin, it seeps through your coat, your sweater, and finally makes a home in your bones. The city was washed in gray that morning, all steel and silence. And somewhere in that quiet, a man stood at the corner of 7th and Monroe, fumbling with a worn scarf his mother had given him decades ago. He hadn't worn it in years. But that morning, he did. Sometimes, the smallest things carry the loudest memories. Hello and welcome to Everyday Epiphany, where simple stories spark soulful insights. Sit back, enjoy the journey, and may it brighten your day. Nate had just turned 42, recently divorced, back to renting an apartment for the first time in years, and perhaps most jarringly, trying to navigate weekends without his 9-year-old daughter, Lily. He wasn't unhappy, exactly, but life had certainly lost its edges. Every day felt a little blurred at the corners. It was a Saturday morning when he found the scarf. He was cleaning out one of the last unopened boxes in the hallway closet, the one labeled Misk, stuff Mom sent. He had meant to toss it out a few times. It was mostly old junk, little things his mother mailed him over the years, birthday cards with a $5 bill, newspaper clippings about health tips, and a few faded photos of family picnics he barely remembered. And then there it was, tucked under a yellowing note that read, "For when the winters get hard. Love, Mom." A scarf. Deep blue, with uneven stitching. The kind only a mother who learned to knit from YouTube could make. Nate chuckled when he held it. It smelled faintly of lavender dryer sheets and something else, maybe Vicks VapoRub. It was ridiculous. He almost tossed it back in the box. But something made him hold on. The city was cold that day, bitterly cold. The wind whipped through the streets like it was late for something. Nate, half for warmth and half for nostalgia, wrapped the scarf around his neck before heading out. He didn't expect to feel anything. But he did. The streets felt quieter than usual. The bakery he and Lily used to go to had a for lease sign taped to the window. That hurt a little more than he thought it would. He kept walking, hands in pockets, breathing into the scarf. At a red light, he noticed a woman struggling to carry a bag of groceries while pushing a stroller. The wheel of the stroller got stuck in a crack in the sidewalk. People passed by. Everyone was cold. Everyone had somewhere to be. But Nate paused. He remembered something. Years ago, when he was maybe 10, his mom had helped an older man push his car through the snow. Nate had asked her later why she did it. "Because it was the right thing to do," she had said. "And because I'd want someone to help you one day, too." So Nate stepped forward. "Need a hand?" he asked the woman. She looked surprised, then grateful. Together, they freed the stroller, secured the bag, and she smiled in that tired, "I'm just trying to survive" kind of way. The kind all single parents know too well. As she walked away, Nate noticed the scarf again. It was like a thread of his mother had woven itself back into his world, guiding his steps gently from beyond. Later that evening, he sat by the window of his apartment, holding a warm mug of tea, scarf still on. He felt oddly protected, not from the cold, but from the ache that had been lingering since the divorce. There was something grounding in it. something maternal, a memory of being cared for, even when no one was looking. That scarf had survived 2 decades, 3 moves, and countless moments of neglect. And yet, when he finally needed it, it was there, quiet, unassuming, but powerful. Like his mom. That moment reminded Nate of something he had once read in the Book of Lost Things by John Connolly. There's a line in it about how the things we leave behind, stories, objects, old photographs, or, yes, even scarves, aren't really lost. They wait for us, tucked quietly between the pages of our lives, ready to remind us who we were, and who still loves us. Not all armor is made of steel. Sometimes, it's made of yarn, of quiet gestures, of unconditional love sewn into a crooked line of stitching that only you would recognize. We live in a world obsessed with strength, power, independence, standing tall without help. But maybe the real strength comes from knowing who held you when you were small, who taught you kindness before you knew the word, and who left behind invisible layers of protection, even if they never got to see you wear them. So if you have something like that, an old scarf, a voicemail you can't delete, a recipe card in familiar handwriting, don't throw it out just yet. Let it wrap around you on the cold days. Let it remind you that you're not as alone as you sometimes feel. Some things don't just keep you warm. They keep you whole. Thank you for being here with us at Everyday Epiphany. If today's story touched your heart or sparked a thought, subscribe and stay with us. Your next epiphany might just be one story away.